Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are right now watching this show. This is First Pitch on Wager Talk TV, a 7-day-a-week show, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. My name is Andrew McGinnis, joined by Dave Koch and Tony Finn, mid-major Matt. Guys, it won't take too long. We've got 16 games on tap. Very excited for this. I mean, it's so many games, so many opportunities here. Great crew to go through today. I just want to quickly mention I have a 5% play in the NHL. I'm on a 10-1, 5% NHL run. It's an afternoon game, so if you like that type of stuff and you want to get on some NHL action, head over to wagertalk.com and grab that. On the topic of grabbing plays, just want to mention the coupon code we have right now, week 69. Teddy said it best, yesterday. It sounded kind of funny, but don't buy single plays right now. My 5% play is $40. You can get a week of all my picks for $69. Dave Kochen, best bet run is going pretty good for you. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I guess it's 22-7-1, or is it 23-7-1? I forget which. In any event, another winner yesterday on the best bet. So, and piggybacking on that $69 offer, today I've got two best bets, one NHL, one Major League Baseball. I've got two other baseball plays. I've also got a KBO play. So you're going to get all those selections and everything else for the next week. So it really is it's a terrific deal. You save a lot of money and hopefully you get a lot of profits.
Mr. Mid-Major Matt Josephs over at Sports Memo. What's going on, buddy?
Doing well. Had a 3-0 day yesterday. My first five unders were 0-0, 1-0, and 2-0. So that's always
Love
good.
it.
13-6 on the season. I've got 3 plays for today. One best bet over on sportsmemo.com. Last
but certainly not least, the man, Tony Finn, that pretty much doesn't sleep. What's going on, Tony?
Same old grind here. It's a good day. Woke up. We have baseball. We got basketball. We got hockey. Soon football, and the world will be back on our axis. I hope. It's a wish.
A quick note, by the way. Go ahead, Tony. Finish up.
That's okay. Go ahead, Dave.
No. I
was going to say I'm on. I just was going to mention I have nothing on the board right now. I'm waiting for a little bit of information. I have one game I'm very interested in baseball, one in basketball. They haven't been posted, but they will be shortly after the show. 6-0 baseball run, 27-4 best bet run in baseball. So it's an all act. I think I'm 17-4. All sports for the last couple of weeks. So not bad. Everyone seems to be doing pretty well.
You can also find Tony on the NBA Tip-Off Show, which is directly following this show. It's a really fun show to watch. Great NBA discussion and NBA tips as well. For myself in the MLB, now a 12-2-1 run. So like you said, Tony, everyone seems to be rolling right now. It's great to see. Without further ado, we'll get right into things. I'm going to start with the Reds and Indians game here. Indians, Dave, I've heard you ad nauseum talk about how this team struggled to swing the bat, and you were questioning their prices. How do you feel about today's matchup and today's price?
Well, they finally get something going. Back-to-back 2-run innings, which isn't an explosion, but for Cleveland it is. And that should help their confidence a little bit. Now they're going against a rookie in Antone. He's had a cup of coffee in the major leagues. Looks like he gets the ball up there in a hurry. He throws it mid-90s, and there appears to be some potential in that arm. But, he's very young, very inexperienced, and you'd have to give a pretty good-sized edge to Clevenger. It is priced in somewhat 155-ish. I made it a little bit higher than that because Clevenger is such a dominant pitcher, and you get the Reds away from their home ballpark, and their offense might not be as strong at this ballpark as it normally is at home, and they're not exactly crushing the ball right now. So I think it's a good opportunity for Cleveland to win perhaps a low-scoring game. I want to get a look at Antone. I have not seen him pitch, and I do like to watch a pitcher to get a better feel than just looking at the stats. So I'm good. It's a game I'll keep my eye on tonight, but I won't be betting it.
Matt, the price has moved up on this game. We're seeing an 8.5 as the total. Do you have a lean on this game, side or total?
Well, I would say this. I watched a little bit of Antone coming out of the bullpen. He's got a nice off speed, threw 16 sliders, 12 of them were for strikes and got 2 strikeouts on him. He did have 5 strikeouts and threw 69 pitches, which is good. Means he probably could go 5 innings or so, 4 and change if we need him to, if you were to go for the 5-inning wager here. One stat I saw, Cincinnati has scored a first-inning run in 3 of their last 4 games. Mike Clevenger has an ERA of 22.5 in the first inning. So if you're into that sort of thing, might be something worth considering because you might be able to get over, half a run at plus price this afternoon.
So Tony, I mean, like I said at the top here, we've continuously talked about how this Cleveland team hasn't consistently hit the ball. Like they're swinging the bat, they're swinging for the moon. They haven't been making contact here. Are you comfortable laying this number?
No,
or paying this price, I should say.
Let's put it this way. I was going to say before when you came to me on this was that I typically have a pretty good feel, or at least I have a lot of info on rookie pitchers or guys who, as Dave said, have had a cup of coffee or two. And I'm really still learning more about Antone. I don't know a lot about him. I know this. I like Clevenger. I call him the master. In fact, I am high on Clevenger moving forward. He's struggled a little bit, especially in his last outing. So as the Indians struggle at the plate, unknowns on the mound for the Reds, this was an easy pass for me. I apologize not having more of an opinion, but that would be my take. I passed on again.
Well, when there's 16 games, that's more than acceptable to be able to pass and give a little bit of thoughts on a game. Daniel right here says, Tony, have you posted your picks yet today? He has not. He has stated that he will post them following the show. On the topic of that, DX Filer joining us, Alex, Brad, Martin, Scott, the director. I like that name, the director. Nice little, all these funny YouTube names everyone makes. The director. We got Billy here. A lot of guys tuning in, about 140 live viewers. We appreciate all of your time and joining us here on this live broadcast. Next game up, we got the White Sox taking on the Brewers. If I can get this switch here. There. Oh, I can't get it to go. But anyway, White Sox, Brewers. Technology is a bitch sometimes. Excuse my language, but I'll throw it over to you first this time, Tony Finn.
I will tell you right now, I was wrong completely about Hauser last year, or when all the information I got earlier this year, I was wrong about him. And I'm a big Keuchel fan, but I know enough about Keuchel to know that he's not the Cy Young arm that he was a trio of years ago. And I thought he made a mistake when he held out last year, and since then he's been up and down. He was really good. He's been fair this year. In this game, I'm not going to. Here's the deal: the Brewers are another team that have been very hard to read as far as offensive goes. Looks like they're back and healthy for the most part. But this game showed. I mean, the numbers, a pick 'em over under. I think was a 9, if I'm not mistaken, and I found very little that basically drew me in, and I apologize again. This is another one of my passes.
Well, Matt, this one opened up, I believe, at 9.5 as a total. Now 8.5 everywhere we look. We take a look at this one here. Like Tony said, these teams, I think both of them, to be honest with you, it seems like it's either a clear shot under or a clear shot over with these teams. We're not really sweating a total. It's either one or the other, Matt. Any lean for you on this total?
Well, yesterday that was one of my first 5 unders, and Woodruff was dodging bullets. I think he gave up 6 hits in the first 5 innings, but of course they didn't scratch anything across. When you look at Hauser, I wonder if the rest of the guys think about this at all. Hauser hasn't been seen by anybody except for Mazzara on the White Sox, but they did face him in summer camp, and that you could glean a little bit about the guy, having seen him in the summer. So I'm not a big Keuchel guy, so for me, it's probably Brewers or pass. What
about yourself, Dave? How do you feel? Are you a Keuchel guy?
Look, when he's got his command and he's getting sinkers, getting the sinker where he wants it, he's still very tough. He'll generate a lot of ground balls. I don't have the same bias as a lot of today's handicappers do, where they're just completely sold on FIP, XFIP, Sierra, which really factors great value into strikeouts. You can still be a really effective pitcher by getting soft contact and getting ground balls. And in fact, in many ways, those guys can be more effective at times because their pitch counts don't go wild, which the strikeout guys, these guys who are striking out 10, 12 guys, Shane Bieber might never get a complete game because, he's striking everybody out. Same thing with DeGrom, but those pitch counts do mount up. I'm not saying that Keuchel's in that category by any means, okay? But I'm just making a case for for me, whip is still a more important category. I want to know how many guys are getting on base per inning and how the pitchers are high stress as opposed to low stress. And Keuchel, when he's on, is still pretty tough. But I watched him in his last start against Kansas City, and he was not really commanding the sinker very well. And that's a bit of an alarm sign for me. He has to be effective with that pitch because if hitters, he's not going to strike out guys. This is where the other side of the strikeout argument comes in. He's not going to strike out a lot of guys, and if he's not getting the kind of contact that he needs to have to flourish, then he can get in trouble. Hauser's, I'm still iffy on Hauser. I think there's a lot of potential in that arm, but the consistency isn't there. Now, this is a game I would suggest waiting because the White Sox, Anderson's already dinged up, and they had two guys leave last night's game with injuries, so we don't know what their lineup's going to look like today. And this is really important. I mean, to me, that's always been a very important aspect of baseball handicapping is to get the lineups. So, whether you use Baseball Press or wherever, wait till you see what the lineup looks like for the White Sox. If they're short three guys, then you might want to go ahead with the Brewers at a little bit of a price because there'll be some value in it against the short-handed lineup.
It's tough to do this, but, giving out live bets before the game actually starts. But I'll tell you, second time through or third time through, I'll probably look towards the over if we see a slow start in this game. That's kind of where I'm looking in this one. I know that we've talked ad nauseum about how looking at full game overs, first half unders. I think this one's applicable if we can see a decent number and the number move down a little bit on this total. I just want to shout out the fact that we have an international audience here at Wager Talk TV. We're seeing a message, hello from Turkey. We also have someone here saying from India, great show. I had somebody reach out from Venezuela earlier today. I mean, it's just all over the map. We appreciate it.
We got to get somebody. We got to get somebody in who's from South Korea though, because we did a lot of KBO, and we'd like some reciprocation here. Come on, guys.
Yeah, definitely. I get it. I think we were definitely getting some viewers from there, but we asked the guy we interviewed, Jiho, and he said they do bet on it. So it's definitely being.
There's definitely gambling in South Korea.
Yeah. We won't get too much into that. Once again, for everybody out there, just a reminder, because I still do see people at Wager Talk right now buying single picks. Just save yourself some money. Go ahead and grab the 7 day a week pass for just $69 using the coupon code WEEK69. It's just the best way to go. And that way you can kind of spread yourself out. You can use that code not only on one handicapper, but as many as you'd like. For the time being that this is out here. And, Wager Talk does a great job of selecting the time, selecting the weeks, the months to put these forward. And if we look at it right now, we've got MLB, NBA, NHL, we've got UFC action, we've got soccer, so much to bet on. It's a great opportunity to grab a week for just $69. We're going to head to the Dodgers, taking on the Padres. Dodgers minus 128 here. I'll throw it to you here, Tony. I want to get your thoughts just overall, because right now it seems like the Dodgers, as much as at the start of the year, we were all talking about how, they're just being so nonchalant is the word I would use. And they weren't blowing anybody out as expected. But a W in the win column is all that really matters. And that's what this team is doing right now.
Yeah, we especially kind of started leaning that way when we found out when all of us were talking about the expanded playoffs that when they went to 16, it changed things. It just changed things. It surely changed the way I handicap and how I perceive a team to whether they're going to be all out every game or not. In this game, I found the line a little bit. I've never been a huge Garrett Richards fan. He has a ton of talent. He's never really I don't think he ever lived up to his prospect status, but he's been a major league pitcher. He's survived the major leagues, and he's capable. I think the Padres bullpen hasn't performed to what they can, what they should. And it's a game where I thought Ross Stripling probably would have been. I made him $160 at $130. I thought I found him a value. That's just me.
So, Tony, why are we seeing that yesterday with May? We saw some good value as well. I mean, that number I said on the show was possibly too good to be true based on the opposition. And, I don't know. I can't remember what the actual feedback was from the panel. But once again, I feel like this is a relatively strong price here.
Dave said it. When you see a line that's not, if you do your own power rankings and you see a number that doesn't fit yours, there's two things you do. You investigate it and find out why, or you basically just step back because something's fishy. And sometimes some things just feel bad. Dave can attest to this, I'm sure. And you're right. And other times you say, well, I should have played it. It's a hit and miss.
Yeah,
I'll throw it to you here, Dave, on this game.
Well, what Tony just said is dead on. I mean, that's where your feel comes in. I mean, it's kind of like I'll go off at a tangent for a moment. The Edmonton line against Chicago tonight, the NHL. Geez, that looks cheap.
Yeah.
And it kind of scares me off the game. Well, that happens sometimes. And I might be dead wrong. Edmonton might kill him. But as far as this game goes, the Padres are now getting to the point where their starting pitching is outstanding. And their bullpen is a disaster. This was, I know I mentioned this yesterday, and then they go out and have another bad game yesterday. So it's becoming a situation where if you like the Padres, you're going to have to start looking at them as a first five today rather than full game because their bullpen is screwing things up late. Yates, I don't even know where he is right now. They're not using him. Pomerantz is the only reliable guy out there. So I think what you're going to see, and it needs to happen soon, is the Padres need to get Mackenzie Gore up, put him in the rotation. And I actually think they might be better off taking Lucchesi. And I know this is anti what I said a few days ago, but I'm thinking maybe Lucchesi could be that bridge guy that gets them 2 or 3 innings late in the game and maybe even closes the game. They've got to fix that bullpen. The Dodgers, there's just too many weapons on this team. I mean, even Mookie Betts misses a game. No big deal. I made the price a little bit higher, not tremendously higher. I made it about 145. So it's in the range of not offering me enough value to make a play on it. But I'm not going against the Dodgers right now until the Padres fix this issue because it's really tough to win games when you can't finish them.
Dave Koken exclusively found at wagertalk.com on a great baseball run. That baseball run does not just include MLB, also the Korean baseball, which Dave and I did a video every single day pretty much on during the pandemic and during the isolation period. And we're continuing to roll with the KBO. Matt, I got to say, I think I need to give you some more respect with these first 5 unders you've been cashing. So hats off to you over at sportsmemo.com. You're getting it done. You're doing 2 to 3 picks a day?
Yeah, we did 3. That was our high for the season. We're doing another 3 tonight. Actually, one of them is a full game over, and another one's a first 5 money line. So we're dipping into some other things. With regards to this game, I mean, look, I like what Garrett Richards has done. His slider's working. 50% of his strikeouts are from the slider, and it's the pitch he's been living on. And, maybe he's starting to return to the form we kind of hoped that he would have when he first came up to the majors. Although last time he threw 90 pitches plus since 2018. We'll see how he does that next start. One note here, we know how much the Padres love to run and steal bases. Stripling's not easy to run against. Only 5 stolen bases the last 2 years against Stripling. Now, it's only in 15 attempts, but maybe people know that's a little tough to steal on him. So that's something to watch for when you look at this Padres team.
We're going to go to our next segment here, the MLB rundown and quick hits. Like I mentioned off the top, 16 games, in this MLB card today. And, Dave, I think you were mentioning yesterday on the card, some teams that are just playing nonstop. We look at that Baltimore Orioles game yesterday. It was kind of very strange to me to see what happened. I actually ended up with a small little side play on this Orioles team, just a recreational bet. And, Miami act like they didn't miss a beat. It was kind of the best of the worst style type of game, a game that not a lot of people would want to watch, Dave. But, hey, they came out on top.
We had a discussion on this yesterday, and I suggested that the Orioles, coming off a weekend sweep against the division rival Rays, and certainly not used to winning, and being a team that's playing meaningful games, thought they might have a letdown. And it's tough to measure that in baseball. You don't see it as much as you do in other sports. But I think they did, and they ran into Pablo Lopez, who's a good young pitcher for the Marlins, and Miami did enough offensively to win a ball game. It was the first time they'd played in, about 10 days? So it was like starting their season over again, but they got the job done. Good win for the Marlins. And as far as I know, they've survived their outbreak of COVID and can get back to playing baseball now. And hopefully will not be going out and visiting clubs or casinos. I think they learned their lesson.
Tony, I know you didn't like what you saw last year in the 2019 season from J.A. Happ. It's very clear. We were talking earlier. We were exchanging some notes and taking a look at Wheeler as well. Someone that's okay is what I would say. Not someone I'm going to go ahead and drop a best bet on every time he's out there. What are your thoughts on this first matchup, Yanks taking on the Phillies?
Well, my first thought was to look to the over. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Happ. Listen, Happ was good during the spring. He was good during the summer sessions here, but last year was a bad year for Happ, and game one was just like last year. So, in my opinion, Wheeler, if there's a team and players that know Wheeler, the Yankees know Wheeler. They know who Wheeler is and what he's going to do. I really like the Wheeler to win this game, but I lean to the over. That would be my first thought.
You know what? Just hold up for a second here. I know we're going to run through this stuff fairly quickly, but this is what I'm doing for now. I'm just throwing out these 7-inning doubleheaders. I don't know how they're going to get managed. Yeah. I have no idea. I don't know if the managers have any idea.
Well, you think, Dave, that we'd look more towards the starting pitchers, right? Because there's less bullpen action, wouldn't there be?
I don't know. I don't know. It remains to be seen. Because if it's a close game, you might say, well, let's make sure we get one, and you might use up all your ammunition as far as the bullpen goes. If it's a close game, you might have your pen in the fourth inning to try and make sure you get one. I don't know how they're going to handle it. So sometimes you got to watch and see when something's brand new to see what the guys do with it. And that's my attitude with these doubleheaders. I'm staying as far away from them as I possibly can.
Yeah, but I don't think the Phillies are going to want any bullpen with Wheeler and Nolan. In theory, both of them could go 7, and we don't see any of those guys, or they go 6, and you see Nearest in both games. By the way, lineups out in that first game, no Giancarlo Stanton for the Yankees, no Jay Bruce, Adam Hazley for the Phillies. I know why did I mention Adam Hazley? Well, he's arguably their best hitter right now.
He's been hot, yeah.
Yeah, so those are the guys, which means Stanton probably plays in game 2, and the other guy's playing game 2, but who knows? So got to pay attention to the lineups in these doubleheaders.
Matt, if I may throw it right back to you here, I think we might as well just take a look at both games back to back. First of all, my first question of the two-parter will be: do you have any strategy that you look towards when betting a doubleheader? And number two, what are you thinking for this one? I mean, Aaron Nola didn't look great versus the Marlins opening day. 4 earned runs against them, 5 hits, a walk. I mean, this is someone that didn't look promising. Do you have any bet in the second one?
Well, I mean, my strategy usually for doubleheaders is I don't touch the second game until at least after the first one, because we don't know what bullpen guys are going to be available, what the lineup's going to look like. Right. I'll say this: Aaron Nola's lost 8, or the Phillies have lost 8 straight starts with Aaron Nola on the mound, and Nola doesn't look like the ace that he's supposed to be right now. He has these 1 or 2 bad innings every start, it feels like, and I just don't think he's as good right now as a number one pitcher. So I would look to fade him potentially at times if I can.
I just want to drop in. I did see his first start, and he was throwing some hangers. His curve, and that curve is a big pitch for him. He wasn't sharp. We'll see if he's. And I better tell you this: if he's not sharp tonight, he's facing murderer's row. That ball will end up in cardboard seat land.
And also, by the way, one other thing, remember that game 1 of, I believe, both games, you've got one team home, and then they are on the road for the second game.
Right.
So game 1 for the Phillies game, the Phillies are on the road, but they're the home team, and the Yankees are home in game 1, but road game 2. It's all sorts of stuff, so make sure to pay attention to that.
Yeah, it's just so confusing. It really is. I mean, there are some worst-case scenarios taking place in baseball, and 7-inning doubleheaders, which is a minor league thing. I like some of the gimmicks, but this is what I don't think the managers are going to like it, and I don't like it either.
Tony, I think Montgomery is someone to like, to look for, but I also know that you were thinking that they might be limiting his innings and seeing how deep he'll go into games. So now looking at these lower, I guess, or shorter games, how do we approach this with Montgomery?
Well, I think that's a great question, and they didn't verbalize it. I didn't hear it from the beat writers or hear it in any of the interviews, but Montgomery he was pretty impressive in 17, and then with all that 17 season was Tommy John surgery, and since then he's had 31 total innings. We can pretend like we know a bunch about who he is now. I think that would be I think we'd be guessing more than knowing. So
by the way, somebody jumped in with this, so I'll just as far as I know, extra inning would be the 8th inning now.
Yes.
These doubleheaders.
Yes.
Correct.
So that's they'll use the 10th inning rule in the 8th inning.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, I'm not the most organized. I know I'm not the most organized guy in the world, but what baseball's done to me, I love baseball. But here's how I feel about baseball. I don't know what the hell is going on from day to day. I feel so scattered. Like when I'm trying to do my assessments and my work, it's not. I don't enjoy it. I'm not enjoying it.
Oh, I am. You know why?
Why?
It's for the same reason that the rest of us are. We're all winning.
Well, yeah.
I mean, if I was losing, I'd be pulling whatever hair I had left out.
Yeah.
But we're all winning, so okay, that's fine by me.
It's a lot more enjoyable when that countdown starts rolling on the YouTube video and we're popping in and I get to go around the horn and all of us talk about our wins or our last nights and how we're doing. It's good vibes. It is good vibes.
It doesn't always run this way, you know.
I'm a little kind of weird, I guess. I just want to feel better about. I'm always comfortable with baseball. I feel like I always know who's going to be starting, who's in the lineup. I really question a lot of things that they're going, but I think I have to adjust to that. So,
well, on the topic of the Miami Marlins, a team that I admitted to losing a ticket against yesterday, where are we looking here? Mid-major, Matt, I'll throw it to you first off. I mean, this isn't a team, like I said that before, that I'm looking to absolutely ride. But like Teddy referred to yesterday, maybe catch him in a streak, catch him in a certain spot. Dave said yesterday, maybe it's a letdown. What do you think here at game 2? I expect some runs.
Well, I mean, that was one of my first 5 unders yesterday and it was 5 yesterday, which was pretty good because both offenses aren't very good. Now, here's the other thing, and I actually haven't even looked. Is it a first 3.5 under? Is it a first 4 under? I mean, I'm guessing it's not a first 5 under with that being 5/7 of the game. So, and we don't even know the Marlins' second pitcher yet, I don't believe. Ooh. And it's Wojciechowski going in game 2. So, I mean, there's just a lot of question marks. I haven't even looked at that game because I don't know who's starting yet for Miami.
Is it Hernandez?
No, it's still undecided.
Okay.
And it is still a first 5 wager. I'm looking at Superbook and 5 Dimes and a couple of others, and it's a 5.5. Well, it's a 4.5 on the first game with Hernandez and Cobb, and a 5.5 in the second game. So those are still first 5 totals.
I'm going to go to you, Dave. Here, Porcello taking on Scherzer around a minus 200, 210 price here for this Nationals team. The Nationals are who I cashed with my 4% best bet yesterday. Is it something you're interested in riding here once again, or maybe a stay off spot?
No, I will tell you that one of the places that I'm able to get information from, they're running about 95% ticket count and 95% money on the Nationals in this game. So everybody's lining up to bet against Porcello, and I can't disagree with that. Max should dominate here. I think the line's high. I mean, you're paying a premium. Yeah, I don't think the line's high. I know the line's high. But that doesn't mean you take the other side, even if there's some supposed line value there. Because Porcello looks like a stay as far away as possible guy right now. And Max, Max is going to get it rolling. He always does. His stuff is dynamite. So I'm not going to play the Nationals at this price, but I'm not taking the other side.
Matt, I know you do some DFS stuff. Do you do any prop betting? I do quite a bit with the NHL, a little bit of NBA, not too much with the MLB. What about strikeouts here for Max Scherzer?
Well, I mean, their lineup, the Mets lineup is not in good form right now, and Alonso at times looks lost in the plate. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty high, 7.5, 8.5 strikeouts. I mean, I haven't played Scherzer's strikeouts, but I would say probably lean to the over. By the way, one other note, Juan Soto batting cleanup tonight. I know he was able to pinch hit yesterday. He's batting cleanup tonight, so he is in the lineup.
Big lift for that team.
Tony, over to you with the Red Sox taking on the Rays here in this one. Tampa Bay, relatively decent favorites here.
Well, I thought this line, it was way off my line again. I just left this alone, but this is a game where in this game, I'm a Yarbrough fan. If you look at Perez, you look at Yarbrough, obviously Yarbrough's numbers are better. Perez is up and down. He's not only been up and down personally, but the team has been up and down with him. They didn't know what they're going to do with him. They're going to let him go. But Perez has talent. The Red Sox have played a little better as of late, but I'm not. I found this number funny, and I passed on it. I like the Rays.
One quick note: I don't think the Red Sox care if they make the playoffs or not.
I agree.
They look like they're just mailing it in and want to get done with these 60 games and go home.
You're right.
Great feeling sitting on that Red Sox under win totals.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, the Red Sox, I think the players on this team knew, our best guys, some of our best guys are out or gone. And we're going to suck this year, and we just don't give a shit. And the Red Sox are still the team I follow the closest, and they're ugly right now.
Well, you know what? It's funny, Dave, because we go from 162 games to 60, but it almost seems like the opposite, whereas these teams are mailing it in earlier with the 60-game season than they are with the 162. I guess based off, even a poor start could just deteriorate you and make you discouraged for the remainder of the season. We talk about the percentage of the season that we're already through. If you have a bad start, like we talked about the Angels yesterday, slow start for them, batting wise, just in general, you got to feel bad about yourself, and you look at it and you got to look at that countdown and say, geez, 40 more games. I can see my family again, right?
And the flip side of it is you take a look at the Rockies. They're 9-2. I mean, they're supposed to be lousy, but they're 9-2. Yeah. And I can guarantee you everybody on that Rockies roster right now is thinking, hey, we got a shot to be in the playoffs. So there's excitement there. You have to look at the different teams and see how they're responding.
Yeah, I know that's all I'm hearing on the sports radio stations here in Canada is about the Jays. Just squeak in, find a playoff spot with this young roster, and I'm surely hoping they can do so. We're gonna start here. We have Minnesota, Pittsburgh here. I'm gonna go back to you, Dave, with this one.
But Dobnik's been impressive, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, the kid, he looks good. He's got, I'm not going to say marginal stuff, but he's not a guy you look at and say, wow, he's going to be an all-star, but he's pitching solid baseball, and they've got a good bullpen behind him, and the Pirates figure out ways how to lose. It doesn't matter whether it's 60 or 162. They're a bad baseball team. They can't hit. Their defense gets sketchy at times. Their bullpen's not very good. I mean, they're in position to win a game, leading 4-0 the other day. They managed to find a way to lose it. I don't want any part of that team. Twins are a big price here and well-deserved.
Next game, my Blue Jays, the team I'm going to call mine because I always talk about them. I actually I had somebody DM me on Twitter, and I don't know if either of you guys, Dave, you were on the show, of course, when I was wearing my Blue Jays jersey. And then the next day I said they're undefeated on days I wore the jersey. Haven't worn it since. Someone messaged me and said, what are you doing? Put the jersey back on. Wear the jersey on the show. They want some wins here. You got Ryu on the mound. It's funny, I have a group of friends I always break down the baseball card with and see what they're thinking. They see what I'm thinking. And it was pretty much 50-50 with unders and overs with this team. First of all, I'll throw it to you here, Tony, with Ryu. I mean, I think that, first of all, people are going to want to bet unders with him. And so far, it hasn't really seemed to be something that's a promising bet.
No, if you remember, I've spoke to Ryu. I'm not a big fan of a pitcher who goes from National League to the American League. Not that the National League this year is going to be any different than the American League. Now they've installed the DH. But what they did in the National League last year and years before matter. And I listen, Ryu had good seasons. He was impressive. His surface numbers were good. His underlying peripherals were never equivalent to his surface numbers. And I questioned him. I'm still going to watch this. If I'm playing this, you know how much I liked the Braves yesterday. I talked about that. I think this Braves team is a good team, good pitch staff, has a capability of going deep into the playoffs. Newcomb's the question mark, but I also thought that here's the deal. I thought this number was a little fishy. They're giving Ryu an awful lot of credit. I probably would play Newcomb at -130. I don't know what you guys have.
Wait. Can I go back here, Tony? I got to call you on something. You just said The Braves have a good pitching staff. They do not have a good pitching
agree
staff.
with that.
They have a terrible pitching staff. They have Fried, who's good, and Stroke is gone, and then garbage.
Fried is just good. He's the best left-hander in baseball.
What?
The best left-hander in baseball. I'll argue with you.
I don't know about that.
Who's better?
I mean,
I know.
Well, I'm trying to think, but
I don't have my rosters in front of me, but Fried's a capable young pitcher, but he's not even an all-star yet.
Well,
he's got a chance to be really good, but
right. Well, listen, if he's healthy, listen, he is a young Kershaw. That's how good this kid is. That's what he is.
And that's one good pitcher. Where's the rest of your good pitchers?
What do you want? Now some of them are injured. This is
Kyle Wright sucks.
Huh?
Kyle Wright. He's terrible.
Wright is not who I would put on that list.
But he's part of the staff.
Okay,
They might have to bring Fulton Evich back.
Let me read. Yeah, well, let me word this right now. From where Atlanta is right now and what they have to work with, okay, they are still the best team in that division. And I
don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. I think their offense is spectacular, and those guys play good defense as well. They've got a really good defense, but starting pitching, I don't know.
Okay.
I looked up
they have
online.
kids to bring up. Go ahead.
I looked up online, just like trying to get in the mix here with this conversation. We're seeing David Price being mentioned here.
No, you can't mention that. David Price is well beyond those years.
No.
So I don't know about that. I don't know where this article is really coming from, but
Patrick Corbin, I think, is better.
I'll take Corbin. Yeah, I wish I had. Hell, I'm just going to punch it up now.
Well,
what about Gio Gonzalez?
The fact that it's not hitting you upside your head, you know, when I mention it too.
No, it's not. It's that's got nothing to do with it.
Jonathan Sanchez, San Fran Giants.
Yeah. Okay. Now I've got to.
See, this is always fun.
I actually got to punch up my pitcher rankings now.
Okay. This is always
Go
fun
ahead.
because
I'll get to it.
I said it earlier on the NHL show that not really conflict, but discussion is good. And I see the look on Matt's face, the look that I've never seen. He's saying, what? You know, what the? And that's okay to have.
Don't get me wrong. I do like
Matt,
the guy.
Matt, which I will say back to you. He says, well, who's better? And you're like, give me a second to think. So he's very confident in his pitcher with top lefty. I mean, who are we throwing out? Dave's looking somebody up.
I'm looking up too. I mean, I'm not a big Keuchel guy, but I think there's some people who would take Keuchel over Fried.
No.
I'm not.
Not now. Okay.
So Corbin, certainly based on last year, Ryu, Mike Minor last year was better than Fried. I'm not saying that Mike Minor long ranges, but I don't know. Fried's just not an elite guy to me at this point.
Dave,
Dave,
the article I looked up and scanned it. Guess what year it was from?
What year?
2011. I scrolled down. I was like, why are they listing this guy? And I looked up. I was like, holy crap, it's from 2011. So that's probably why we were seeing the names, and I was calling out the names that I was seeing. And Kershaw is a number one. That's for sure.
I will say this. I mean, you can't argue against 17-6. And the ERA was a bit inflated. His peripheral numbers were better than that. Yeah, and it's not like there's a lot of great lefties out there right now. Maybe you're onto something, Tony.
I want to clarify though, Tony. Are you talking about like up and comer, or are you talking about like at the moment?
Well, Dave's absolutely spot on. His numbers last year. Listen, he was
really good last year.
He was 17-6. He made strides, but this offseason, what this kid's capable of, especially his rotation numbers, they're stupid, crazy good. He's 200, 400 revolutions better than Kershaw was now and at this point in his career. Better than anybody in baseball.
Well, I'm not going to put him in Kershaw's. Kershaw, despite his postseason mishaps, is one of the best pitchers I've ever seen.
Oh, absolutely. And that tells you how much I think of Fried.
Okay, Fried's got a way to go to get in that conversation.
Oh, I agree with that, dude.
And John Lester, too. He's got to have a while to go to get to John Lester.
Yeah.
All right, we better move it along, guys.
Okay, sorry.
I know. I like a good discussion. I'm going to throw it to you here, though, Matt. I want to ask you: Is Darvish, really pushing this line here from minus 170 to 190, 195, 200 at even one shop here against the Warriors?
I also want to jump in on this one. Go ahead.
You take it, Dave.
Okay, so Darvish, everything is arrow up all over the place on Darvish. He was great in the second half last year because that cutter, he started to gain confidence in that cutter. And now he's throwing the cutter more than anything else. His velocity's up. His first start was so-so on the stat line, but everything underneath it was good, and he was just totally dominant last time out. The miles per hour splits between his fastballs, his two fastballs, the cutter and his standard fastball, and his slider, it's like 15 miles an hour. You can't hit that shit, man. He is... Right now, Darvish is pitching great baseball, and he could dominate the Royals. I watched Bubic in his first start. maybe some potential there. But the only pitch he was able to command was his changeup, which was pretty good. His fastball was iffy, and he seemed very hesitant to throw the curveball. White Sox got to him early for 3 runs. He kind of settled down sort of after that, but I think he's in trouble against this Cubs lineup. The problem, though, is, and I made this my free play today. I made the Cubs first 5 minus a half run. I don't want any part of that Cubs bullpen once Darvish is done for the day. That bullpen is a train wreck right now, led by Craig Kimbrell, who appears to be completely shot. And the Royals actually have a late inning edge in this game, so that's my play. Cubs first 5 minus a half run, and that's the free play I posted at Wager Talk.
Miami's second pitcher is undecided here, guys. I'm not sure if either three of you want to discuss this game. Bullpen game, and it's like Matt said. I would say we'd all look towards a bet after we've seen some of the first games. So it's okay
Not
with
me.
you guys.
I'm staying away from 7-inning games.
Webb, Gray, San Fran, Colorado. It's the floor is yours, Mr. Finn.
I'm sorry, you broke up on my. All of a sudden, something loud came on my computer. Did you say Colorado?
Yes.
We talked about. It's funny how there it is. Yeah, something's goofy's going on. But we talked about Colorado 9-2. 9-2. That's amazing from what I've seen from them. And John Gray. Listen, John Gray's dichotomy. His home numbers compared to his away numbers. He's one of those guys that has dominated this Padres lineup, old lineups, this lineup, what they do have. What he's done at Coors is above and beyond believable. But look at those numbers. He's been good. How do you not like John Gray tonight in Colorado?
Hey, by the way, just to add to that, the first 5 unders hit in every Coors Field game so far this year. So, once again, I don't know if I can take it in this one because Webb's never pitched in Coors Field, but just a trend to watch that the first 5s have all hit under in Coors
and Matt,
Field so far.
What numbers have those been on average?
I mean, they've been 7.5s, they've been 8s, and there's been a lot of times where it's been not even close. I mean, yesterday they took the home run off the board from Duger, but it still hit under. So, just something to look at that they've been inflating the totals, and yet the early has gone under.
I want to respond to a question. When is the Las Vegas Sports Line coming back? Listened every day for the last 8 years. It is not coming back. The show is done.
Really?
Well, there's this thing called sponsors, and there's not a lot of sponsors right now, especially for terrestrial. Terrestrial radio's kind of had it, guys. Yeah.
Well, guys, yesterday, I'm just going to mention once again, and I hate to just sound like, I'm mentioning something that was happy with what happened to me, but I couldn't believe getting this run line victory with the Oakland A's. I mean, the bounces that I've had, some of the stuff that's happened to me, guys, I swear to God, like this never happened to me. The wins that I've had, whether it's with clients or just recreationally, it's unbelievable. I look back to that Pirates game that was like 3-2 in the 8th or 7th inning, and I hit the over. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's been low volume for me anyway. They're playing again, obviously, the Rangers and A's. Do we expect a different result? I mean, this team's done this twice already. We see a grand slam. I'll go to you, Dave. I mean, I have no words. I have no words.
That's twice in this very short season. They've had 2 walk-off grand slams, which is pretty good. Line looks right to me on this game. I made it 166. And it's in that range right now. Gibson can be tough first time through the lineup. The Rangers are a bad baseball team. They're one of the other teams that looks discouraged early on. Nothing is going well for them. And Lance Lynn has been the shining light for them. He finally gave up a run yesterday, 1. He's been great. The rest of the team just basically sucks. The Rangers are on my no play list right now. I got a win out of them against the Giants on Sunday, thank goodness. And it'd be Oakland or pass for me, but I don't want to lay that much of a price. But Oakland's starting to get some momentum. And by the way, Luzardo looked really good last night. That kid's legit.
I like that. I cashed on an under yesterday, which we talked about too. So the Rangers are on my under play list. That's for certain, Dave.
We talked about the Astros game yesterday on the show, and we dove into it quite a bit. And I think I can probably say maybe 4, 5, 6 comments here in the live chat, whether it's from Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, saying Mad Bum got destroyed. Mad Bum is done. Mad Bum this, Mad Bum that. I hope they're talking about Madison Bumgarner, but this guy here, he's someone that people love to fade. It seems like right now they love to fade him, especially at the price that they're getting. What do you think here, guys? Where he's got his numbers dropped here. It's minus 137 here. Looking at Pinnacle, I'll throw it to you here, Matt Joseph.
Well, I want nothing to do with Robbie Ray. I want nothing to do ever again. I had the first 5 under in his first start. I watched the guy mumble into himself, and as soon as runners get on, he peed down his leg. He talked about the reworking of the mechanics, and he was losing weight, and everything was supposed to be better. The guy just throws the ball, has no idea where it's going. I mean, he had 6 walks last time out. He throws really hard. He's going to get you strikeouts, and it's going to happen, but then he's going to walk the bases loaded. I'm a big McCullers guy. He did struggle a little bit against the Angels last time, but to me, it's Astros or nothing here. And the price is coming down. I don't like the Astros bullpen, but the price is coming down a little bit. I want nothing to do with Robbie Ray.
Well, speaking of prices going down, that's a great segue for this next game. Halos Mariners, Dave. What are you thinking here? Is this a team you're interested in looking at?
Teheran is starting for the Halos tonight. He's a guy who has command problems when he's pitching regularly. I would assume he's on some kind of a leash tonight, probably 60 to 75 pitches. And if the Mariners are smart, they'll be really patient with him because he might walk himself into a mess. And then after that, it's the Angels bullpen. I think Marco Gonzalez rates a first 5-inning edge over Teheran. And roughly even money. I don't think that's a bad bet at all.
I like that, Dave. Listen, Teheran's a bet against. He's a play against.
Yeah. And, well, the problem is, if you think the Angels bullpen is bad, Seattle's might be even worse. So this is one of those games where I don't want any part of the last 4 innings. This is the first 5 inning, or leave it alone.
Yeah.
Before we head into our next segment and wrap up this show, once again, I want to shout out this coupon code Week 69 to get a play every single day. I mean, right now it's $40 for a best bet, $25 for a regular, 4% or 3%. You can get all of our plays, and Dave continuously kind of, paints the picture for everybody about, what you're getting with this coupon code and with this package here. And, for me right now, I have plays out in MLB, NBA, and NHL. You can get all those all week long for $69 using coupon code Week69. Matt over at Sports Memo, all of us here at wagertalk.com. The next segment we're going to go with here is our last one here with the DFS stud and sleeper. If I may go around the horn, I'll start with you, Matt, then Tony, then Dave.
Well, if you want to go expensive pitcher, you go Darvish. You want to go cheap, it's Dobnak. And my hitter tonight is Vlad Guerrero Jr. against Sean Newcomb, who's not very good. And I think he breaks out tonight.
Did you say me next?
Matt, Tony, then Dave.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. I was looking for a good guy.
I don't have any.
Go ahead. I'll go ahead and throw Ryan Yarbrough out again because Yarbrough continues to be pretty cheap. He's had 2 excellent starts. He's facing a lineup that doesn't give a rat's ass about whether they're playing right now and would just as soon be home for the winter. And so I'll take Yarbrough at a mid-price. And if you're looking to do something with offense, listen, Webb's never pitched at Coors before, and he's not a long-distance guy anyway, and the Giants' bullpen is scary, so you won't be cheap, but find the less expensive Rockies guys to fill out your offense.
Matt and Dave both, those are guys I would absolutely be playing if I was. I'll throw in something that will be contrary, and I'll throw in at least to Matt, and I'll throw in Sean Newcomb against your Toronto lineup.
Yeah. I want to give a quick shout out to Chris from Wager Talk. He's the guy in there running the comments there from Wager Talk. Does a great job holding things down, running the social medias here at Wager Talk. So on behalf of Chris, behalf of Dave, Matt, and Tony, I'm Andrew. We'll see you tomorrow once again, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. This is First Pitch right here on Wager Talk TV.